Tucson is not easy to say, and it is not easy to spell. In a world where most people start their new vehicle research on the internet, commonly using a search engine like Google or, increasingly, a voice assistant like Amazon Echo, a name that is hard to say and hard to spell becomes a good reason to skip it in favor of CRV or RAV4. Persevere, because the 2018 Hyundai Tucson is worth seeking out. Since its redesign for 2016, the third-generation Tucson sales have skyrocketed by 41% in 2016 and are trending up another 27% in 2017. Demand for small crossover SUVs is part of the reason for this success, but so are this Hyundai's good looks and compellingly sized, equipped, and priced vehicle. Inexplicably, we at the New York Daily News have scribbled few words about the Tucson. Therefore, I spent a week hauling my wife and 2 kids around the suburbs in a Caribbean Blue Tucson Value Edition, priced at a reasonable $29,025, including the $950 destination charge. Design, 8.0 rating. I am a big fan of the Hyundai Tucson's styling. In fact, I think it is the best-looking small SUV you can buy today. There isn't an awkward angle, a misshapen bulge, or an incoherent line on the thing. The only hint of weirdness is the subtle asymmetry in the gray plastic cladding over the wheel arches. And the machine finish, 5-spoke 19-inch aluminum wheels would look right at home on an Audi Q5. Unfortunately, this stylistic flair is lost when you open the doors and step inside. Form and function are rendered in equal measure, and the result is simple, straightforward, no-nonsense design that comes across as plain even with the Germanic silver plastic accents. Examine the cabin closely, and you'll easily see why this Hyundai would never actually be confused with an Audi. The shortcuts in terms of materials and execution are simply too obvious. In addition to a general lack of refinement, much of the hard plastic feels cheap and scratches easily. The turn signal stalk feels flimsy, even for an entry-level vehicle. The Tucson's cabin simply isn't up to Kia Soul standards, let alone the best vehicles in the class. Therefore, when it comes to design, you better be in love with the exterior because the interior is going to disappoint over time. Comfort, 7.0 rating. Hyundai makes several missteps when it comes to the Tucson's comfort levels. I like to sit up high, and because I have long legs, I typically need to use most, if not all, of the driver's seat track travel. In the Tucson, when I raise the 8-way power-adjustable driver's seat, it dumps forward at the same time, putting me closer to the steering wheel and dashboard. As a result, I settle for an imperfect position. My wife likes to sit up high, too, but the Tucson Value Edition doesn't offer a front passenger seat height adjuster. Choose the Cell Plus or the Limited if you want an 8-way power-adjustable front passenger's seat. Rear seat passengers will enjoy a comfortable seat. High door sills and hard plastic front seat back trim impede on overall satisfaction, but air conditioning vents help to soothe occupants as they rest, reclined a bit beneath the Tucson's panoramic glass sunroof. Value Edition versions have cloth seats, and if you choose beige or gray colors, the cloth is stain and odor resistant. My test vehicle had black cloth, which is not. Heated front seats are included for all Tucsons except the base SE trim. A heated steering wheel is included for the Tucson Limited. Heated rear seats and ventilated front seats are optional with Limited trim. Controls, 10.0 rating. Clear, concise, easy to find and easy to use, the Tucson's controls are a delight. You can reference information with no more than a glance, and at night the instrumentation is white while ancillary functions are a calming violet blue. Additionally, Hyundai makes it easy to adjust the stereo and the climate system without looking away from the road because traditional knobs govern volume, tuning, and temperature. Utility, 8.0 rating. In comparison to the sales leaders in the compact SUV segment, the Tucson's cargo space measurements are unimpressive. Still, the 31 cubic feet of volume provided behind the rear seat is useful, needing only bins to either side of the center of the floor for holding gallon jugs of milk or bottles of juice. Fold the 60/40 split folding rear seat to access 61.9 foot of cargo space behind the front seats. Storage space within the cabin is decent. The glove box is average in terms of size, but Hyundai supplies a large center console bin with a top tray, and arrays cubbies around the transmission shifter. A sizable tray is located forward of the shifter and cup holders. Technology, 9.5 rating. Hyundai restricts its most impressive technologies for the Cell Plus and Limited trim levels. Some high-value edition test vehicle lacked the larger 8-inch infotainment system display, a navigation system, Blue Link subscription services, and an Infinity Premium sound system with Clarify music restoration technology. However, it is important to point out that, for 2018, Tucson's equipped with Blue Link include a free trial period of 3 years, an upgrade over the 12-month trial that was previously available. Also, I'm generally impressed by the Infinity Clarify sound systems in Hyundai models, so I'm sure the Tucson's setup produces unusually rich sound for the compact crossover SUV segment. What my test vehicle did have was a 7-inch display screen and both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration technology. As previously mentioned, handy knobs control volume and tuning, and while this particular infotainment setup is somewhat limited in terms of features, simple menus and clear on-screen prompts make it easy to use without an owner's manual. A hands-free smart rear liftgate is standard for the Value Edition, as is keyless entry with push-button engine starting. The climate system is a dual-zone automatic unit, complete with a clean air ionizer that helps to eradicate unwanted odors and pollution. Safety, 9.0 rating. While other car companies are making safety technologies like forward collision warning and automatic emergency braking standard on their models, Hyundai is pursuing a different strategy. For example, every 2018 Tucson is equipped with blind spot warning, rear cross-traffic alert, and lane change assist systems, and this isn't the only Hyundai with which the company is taking this tactic. Personally, I find Hyundai's approach appealing. In daily driving, blind spot warning is one of the most useful safety systems of the past decade. You will find it helpful each and every time you get behind the wheel. At the same time, though, restricting forward collision warning with pedestrian detection and automatic emergency braking to the most expensive limited trim level is misguided. It should be optional for all but the base SE trim. Should you elect to add these upgrades to the Tucson Limited through the available Ultimate package, which also installs a lane departure warning system, know that the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, gives them a superior rating for their effectiveness. The available LED headlights and the child seat latch anchors are each rated acceptable. Furthermore, the FS gives the Tucson good ratings for crash protection across the board, resulting in a top safety pick rating for 2018. The NS also rates the Tucson favorably for crashworthiness, achieving 5-star status except for a 4-star rating in the side pole protection test. If you have a teenage driver in the household, versions of the Tucson with Blue Link include safety and driver functions related to speed, curfew, and boundary alerts. Automatic collision notification and SOS emergency calling are also a part of Blue Link service, and you can set the vehicle up to send text and email alerts to family or friends in the event that you press the panic button. In short, you can trust the Tucson to protect your family, either through its Blue Link services, its crashworthiness, or its driver assistance and collision avoidance systems. Power and performance, 8.0 rating. Hyundai provides SE, Cell, and Cell Plus trim levels with a 164 horsepower, 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. I'm sure it's fine. But I'm a big fan of turbocharged engines, so the blown 1.6 liter 4-cylinder in the Value Edition and Limited is my preference. True, it makes only 11 extra horsepower, for a total of 175. But look at the specifications chart a little closer. The horsepower peaks 700 revolutions per minute lower in the rev range. The real story here is torque. The turbocharged engine delivers 44 more pound-foot of torque, bringing the total to 195 pounds. Foot, and it peaks from 1,500 revolutions per minute to 4,500 revolutions per minute, whereas the normally aspirated 2.0 liter experiences a brief peak of 151 pounds. Foot at 4,000 revolutions per minute. Additionally, the turbocharged engine is paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, DCT, which I prefer to the standard 6-speed automatic. You do, however, need to understand what a DCT is and how it works, or you're likely to be dissatisfied with its sometimes hesitant behavior. So, what does all of this mumbo-jumbo mean? A turbocharged Tucson feels much quicker when accelerating, and especially at higher elevation where thinner atmosphere tends to strangle non-turbo motors. I do wish the DCT snapped off quicker shifts when the drive mode select system is switched into sport mode. Also, my test vehicle's optional all-wheel drive system, $1,400, exhibited some graininess when accelerating. You can feel it through the seat. Speaking of the AWD system, it has a lock mode that splits the power evenly between the front and rear wheels at lower speeds. I used it to scramble up a hill with an off-camber crest. Coming back down in the other direction, the hill descent control system worked effectively to keep speeds down. On my usual testing loop, the Tucson averaged 23.3 miles per gallon, coming in beneath the official EPA rating of 25 miles per gallon in combined driving. This was an unimpressive result, especially in light of the Honda CR-V's superior ratings and result on the same loop. Ride and handling, 6.0 rating. Hyundai can instantly improve the Tucson by installing a better set of brakes. On the downhill, twisty road portion of my test loop, which takes a vehicle from nearly 2,000 feet in elevation to sea level over the course of several miles, I came upon a construction crew while they were hot. They successfully brought the SUV to a stop, but smoke poured from the components. Despite this break, I put the Tucson in park while I waited, and needing to follow slower traffic for a portion of the rest of the ride down to the beach, the brakes ultimately reached their limit, causing confidence-eroding fade. The steering performs better, but is uninspiring. Believe it or not, this is a compliment, because Hyundai has historically struggled to develop natural-feeling electric steering systems. The one in the Tucson calls no attention to itself, though I could do without the heavier assist when the SUV is in sport mode. With a high center of gravity and a short wheelbase, the Tucson's handling includes a predictable amount of body roll, but the 19-inch wheels are wrapped in 245/45 tires that supply more grip than the majority of the SUV's owners will require. The ride quality is composed, accompanied by significant road noise on anything other than glass-smooth pavement. While off-roading, I heard 2 instances of scraping when it was unanticipated. But then I remembered that a Tucson supplies just 6.4 inches of ground clearance, fully 2.3 inches less than a Subaru Crosstrek or Forester, and that explained everything. Our recommendation. SUV is an acronym for Sport/Utility Vehicle. The Tucson looks sporty, and as long as you're driving in a straight line, it drives that way. It also offers more utility than a typical car, if not several of its key competitors. Aside from styling and speedy turbocharged acceleration, where the 2018 Hyundai Tucson excels is with regard to safety, simplicity, and technological sophistication. These traits, combined with a compelling value equation, make it easy to put a Tucson on a shopping list for cross-comparison against heavy hitters like the Chevy Equinox, Ford Escape, Honda CR-V, Jeep Compass, Kia Sportage, Mazda CX-5, Nissan Rogue, Subaru Forester, and Volkswagen Tiguan. At the same time, that's a long list of alternatives from which to choose, and several of them are more fully baked, not to mention easier to spell and say. Total vehicle score: 157 200 points. Overall vehicle rating, 7.9.